Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Tanya, and if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back again. Well, if you don't know what I do on my channel, that would be DIYs and home decor on a budget. Now, new in 2022, I'm going to be adding in some lifestyle, and that'll be basically just showing you some of the things I do in my everyday life that have been simplifying my life, which that is where I'm going in the new year. I want to just simplify everything and try to really make use of all of the DIYs that I come up with, and I want to have a purpose for them. And the ones that I just create just for fun and just for you to watch, I will be adding to my Etsy shop that I'll be getting going this year. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's DIYs, which will be the neutral farmhouse decor. Now for DIY number one, I'm going to be making this heart-shaped wall art for Valentine's Day that you can also use in the spring. We're going to be using one of those wood hearts, one of those new little letter pockets that you saw there. I actually took the love off of that. And of course, I'm going to be using some of my wood beads. And I like to take my wood beads and just attach them to a piece of masking tape, and that holds them in place. And I love this copper wire that I found at, I think it was Michael's, yes. And I thought it would be really neat to string some of my beads and things with the wire instead of rope. And then there's that love sign that I'm going to be using where I had removed the actual love sign that was on that little letter pocket. Now I am going to go ahead and score this and just give it more of a wood grain look. And then I watered down some of that Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm just going to do a light coat. Because as I said, this design is going to be more in the neutral color palette and kind of a farmhouse theme with a little bit of a vintage touch to these designs. Now I'm going to be taking this cottage white and I'm just going to brush that lightly over top of the antique wax. And I didn't quite let that antique wax dry really well, just so that it would blend really easy, still being wet. Now I do add a little bit more of the antique wax to the little letter pocket before I glue it on, and that's because I wanted the contrast where I'm going to paint the front of that with that cottage white. Well, everyone, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you will consider doing so. I do a lot of DIYs and home decor on a budget, and also this year I'm going to be adding in some lifestyle things, and that will just consist of my simple living tips that I like to do, and also I do a lot of homemade recipes, and I'll be popping a few of those in there for you, but mainly we'll be doing the DIYs, and I am going to start doing more of the hauls and kind of shop with me videos coming up too here in 2022. Well, you can see I took and painted that littlest heart with the cottage white, and then I added some Waverly stain to the love word that I didn't really like the font on the love that came on the front of the little letter rack, so I switched that out for the ones that had more of a block look. But you can see here I'm just taking that wire and wiring these on, and I don't know if you guys have tried this with the wire. I know a lot of us use the rope and the string. I really like this look using the wire. I just thought it was something different, and I just curled mine up on the edges and kind of pressed it down. And then I had some greenery. I think I found this one at Michael's, and could be Michael's or Hobby Lobby, one or the other. They both have pretty greenery. And just cut off a few sprigs and just tuck them down in there with a little piece of my foam that I glued in. And I decided just to keep this very simple because I had mentioned before my decor, I'm kind of going for a more simpler look this year. And I just wanted to take and put a few of these little white flowers kind of off to the side, and you could take that right through spring. Now for DIY number two, I got some of these wood hearts from Dollar Tree, and I absolutely love these rub-on transfers. And another little simple design, and of course you saw there I used my masking tape and put the beads on there. That's a neat little trick. But I mean, I'm going to be using that clear wax on here, and that's what I'll kind of seal these with. And of course I'm going to be taking some more of that copper toned wire And the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and just paint these. I do end up painting these with a couple coats of that cottage white. And I just love that color. I think that's a very soft kind of white color. And it goes really good if you really like the neutral decor theme. Well, everyone, I hope you're enjoying what we're doing today on our DIYs. And I would like to mention that about the giveaway. It will be next Saturday on the 14th of January at 7 p.m. that I will be announcing the winner. So if you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, watch the previous video and it will tell you all the information about the giveaway, and it will be for me reaching my 3,000 subscribers, which I want to thank everyone for your support on that. Now I'm going to take that wire again, and I'm going to make a kind of a short little garland of beads for these. I probably could have made it a little bit longer, but I was just going to lay these in my wire basket in my kitchen, so I just made a short little garland to attach to these. But I absolutely love using those little rub-on transfers, and I know with spring coming they're going to be putting out a lot more of those. And actually in one of the DIYs on here, I did use one of the spring rub-on transfers and it turned out beautiful. And you can see I'm just kind of looping that wire right through there to get that bead to lock in and stay on, and then I'll just curl up those ends again. Well, everyone, I'm really excited for 2022. I'm hoping to be doing a lot more DIYs and sharing a lot more of lifestyle things with you in the upcoming year. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you are enjoying my content, I hope you do hit that like button, and I would love to have you subscribe and be part of my YouTube family. And don't forget, when you do subscribe, to hit the all button on the notifications, and that way hopefully you will be notified every time I do upload a new video. And I was so thrilled to find this little rub-on transfer with the X's and O's. I just thought these little hearts turned out so beautiful. And what a fun and simple and easy way to make some really pretty decor for your home. And I'm definitely going to be leaving these out throughout the spring and summer also. And everyone, don't forget to check out my community post tomorrow. I am going to be putting up a poll of different things that I am thinking that I might create, and I want to get your opinion on that and see if you would just kind of give me an idea of which direction I need to go and the different types of decor that you'd like to see. Now I'm going to use that matte varnish. I absolutely love this matte varnish, and if you haven't tried that, I definitely would get some of that. And I like that it doesn't have a gloss to it, being matte, and it just seals everything in, and it works so great on these rub-on transfers. Well, everyone, here is our wooden hearts, and I couldn't be happier with these. I absolutely love how these turned out. Now for DIY number 3, I'm going to be making this little wood box shelf sitter. And this was another really fun and simple design. And this was really difficult to take this apart, but I did finally get it taken apart. And you will have to sand off some of that glue. And I wanted to keep these designs with a little bit of the natural thing, so I'm going to use a brown paper bag. And I was so happy with this, how it turned out. And I definitely think I'm going to be doing more with these little lunch bags for my neutral farmhouse decor. Now I'm going to be using that cottage white and just painting the inside of this little shadow box. And I'm going to go ahead and paint all of my little letters with that white because that looks really good on the color tone of the brown paper bag. Now you can watch here what I decided to do. I wanted to take and just pinch this wire together and then twist it up, and I'm going to make a tiny little Cupid's arrow to put in one of those little jars that I had purchased at Dollar Tree. And I end up just taking some of the brown paper bag and just cutting the tip of it to look like an arrow, and then another little piece of it at the top of the arrow just to make it kind of scrappy looking, like it was aged. But I was really happy with how this turned out, and it was just another way for me to use some of that wire that I love. And I thought it was just kind of a little simple design that if you get up real close to it, you'll see that little glass bottle with the little Cupid's arrow. And then of course, that makes sense that it says love, love, love. And I think this would be another little design that you could also leave up through the spring and summer season. Now I did have a little bit of trouble getting that to stick, so you may want to use a super glue on this, or even some E6000. I think the super glue would probably work. I had to go back and glue it down in a few places. Now I did pull out some of my greenery just because I love to add greenery to a lot of my decor pieces. So I just cut some little sprigs that I had left over in my craft box, and I added those. And then I pulled out these beads before I did that. And these are just those little strips of those little self-sticky beads. And be careful with these. I actually pulled the sticky off and I ended up having to hot glue. And then I just took some of that nautical rope and I just glued that around the edge to hide that where I had to glue it back together. But I love how sweet this little design was and how it turned out. Well, everyone, I hope you are enjoying today's DIYs. If so, don't forget to give me a thumbs up for this video, and also let me know which one is your favorite, if you have a favorite. Now this next DIY has to be one of my favorites, and I will definitely be doing this again. I always wondered what to do with these XOXOs, and this is it, everyone. I love this design. Now this is more of those rub-on transfers, and this was the one that actually was for spring, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use it. And I didn't really put the word spring on here, which actually I probably could have, because I'm definitely going to be leaving this one up through the spring and summer season. I've got it above my cabinets where I have that decorated. I'll have to show that to you. But I just pieced this together all over these letters in different places, and I just absolutely love how this design turned out. And it was so simple. And I don't know about you, but when I get these XOXO, I really didn't know what to do with them, but this will be a keeper for me, and I definitely want to see what other rub-on transfers they have that I could use for this particular design. And I do the same thing. I do add some of that matte varnish to this just to seal everything in. And you see how I'm just kind of piecing it together. And that's one great thing that I love about these rub-on transfers, especially when they have the script on there. And that's what I said, it kind of has a little bit of a vintage feel to it, but I'm definitely working it right into the farmhouse decor, and it does wonderful. And I feel like the colors are not so bright that it definitely still works with the neutral decor palette. Well, everyone, don't forget to check out the previous video, and you'll see more of the information there about the giveaway. And I hope that a lot of you try to enter for that. I do have a lot of really nice items. Now here's another little tip. I take one of my fingernail files and just kind of sand around the edges a little bit. And you can see when I get that matte varnish on there, it kind of just brightens everything up. Definitely one of my favorites. Okay, everyone, for our 5th DIY, this is probably one of my favorites also. I think I'm kind of torn between this one and the X&O. I bought this beautiful yarn, and I love this color of green, and I had purchased this at Hobby Lobby, and I know that this is one of the new color trends for 2022 is these green colors, but this DIY could not have been more fun. Now I did have to use all of my yarn for this design, and there was no rhyme or reason to this. I just kept wrapping and twisting and just trying to keep the lines going in different directions, but I love how this turned out. It was such a fun and simple one, and I definitely want to use this technique on some more of my DIYs. And you can see there at the end, now there is a few places when you do this that you'll need to just glue down just a little bit. And then of course, I just kind of looped it under there on the back and just tied it in a knot. And I'm just gonna use it as a shelf sitter. Now you could attach the beads to this and hang it on the wall, but I had a place that I was gonna put this one in my home, and I just wanted to set it up. Now I did something really different. I ended up making it's kind of, it's to resemble leaves for this, and I took some darker green and I just cut it like you were gonna do like maybe some kind of little pom-poms or something, and I just cut it open, and then I took some of these white paper flowers that I had gotten in the wedding section there at Hobby Lobby, and I glued some of those off to the side of this design, and just love how this one turned out. Now for our last DIY, I did this very simple hanging hearts is all it is. I don't even know what else to call it. But I had this little area in my kitchen. It's just a skinny little wall, and I just wanted to hang something kind of subtle there. So I just took some of these wood hearts from Dollar Tree and some of my scrapbooking paper that I had in my craft box, and I decided to paint these with a little bit of the blanch white, and then take some antique wax and just dust on there, and I cut those hearts out to fit on the back so you could see the paper through that little tiny peek hole. And once again, I'm going to be using that wire instead of the string, and I wanted this one just to be really simple. May not have been my favorite, but it looks really cute on the wall where I put it, and it adds just that tiny simple little touch. Now I did have to glue these down on the back and to make them kind of hang straight, but it turned out really good, and Overall, I was pretty happy with this one. Well, everyone, that is all of our DIYs for today. And like I said, I hope you let me know if you have a favorite. And if you did enjoy this video, I hope you decide to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you consider doing so. And don't forget to hit that notification button and select all, and you should be notified every time I upload a new video. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's DIYs, and you'll have to let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you consider doing so. Well, everyone, I will see you on the next one. Have a great week.